You know that person who goes completely quiet when they're hurt? The one who looks you right in the eye, says, "I'm fine," but their energy absolutely screams, "Please just leave me alone." Well, if you are that person, or you love someone who is, you're going to want to pay close attention to this explainer. Because honestly, almost everything society has taught us about this reaction is dead wrong. When this super familiar dynamic plays out, it's really easy to assume the worst. But let's clear this up right out of the gate. This silence, it's not a sign of being cold. It's definitely not emotional immaturity. Beneath that quiet, still surface, there is a massive amount of psychological activity taking place. Okay, section 1, the misunderstood silence, what society gets wrong. So society looks at someone going quiet and sees a calculated power move, a conscious decision to just shut people out. But science reveals a completely different story. What your brain actually does when you're hurting is one of the most highly complex emotional responses a human nervous system can produce. Today, we are decoding exactly why this happens. But to really grasp it, we have to look at the hidden physical trigger inside the body. But here's the catch. Section 2, your brain's emergency brake, the science of shutting down. Why do the words just disappear? I mean, why does your chest get incredibly heavy, making it physically impossible to even open your mouth? It isn't stubbornness, I promise you. When emotional pain feels way too massive to process in real time, your brain literally pulls an emergency brake to protect you. Researcher Dr. Peter Levine spent decades studying stress, and he identified this as the freeze response. It's a hardwired nervous system reaction. And get this, it is just as powerful and just as primal as fight or flight. It's not a weakness at all. It's a biological shield. During emotional flooding, the physical region in your brain that's responsible for producing language actually shuts down. Actually, it goes completely offline. So when someone is standing over you demanding, "Just talk to me," and nothing comes out, your brain has literally blocked access to words to prioritize something much, much more urgent: survival. You aren't shutting them out. You are holding yourself in. Right, moving to section 3, a childhood survival skill, where the stillness began. Now, nobody is born this way. Think about it. Babies and toddlers express pain loudly and completely without apology. So where did the stillness begin? It almost always started in an environment where emotions were treated as inconveniences. In childhood, your pain was punished or ignored. So by adolescence, you adapted. You survived by hiding your vulnerability because feeling out loud simply cost you too much. And by adulthood, that silence isn't just a bad habit. It's a hardwired survival skill. Psychologist John Bowlby actually proved that our early relationships basically map out our entire pain response. When vulnerability leads to more pain, your nervous system takes that data and files it away. Then, decades later, even with completely different people, the brain repeats that exact same survival tactic. Your silence is quite literally a shield your younger self built to survive. Section 4. Protecting the people you love, the hidden purpose of your silence. So here is the massive paradigm shift. People assume still water means an empty mind, right? But researchers found that for quiet processors, the regions of the brain tied to self-reflection and future outcomes are hyperactive. You are rapidly stress testing every single angle. You're asking yourself, did I contribute to this? Will speaking right now just make it worse? You aren't avoiding the problem at all. You are executing a high-speed internal review. And part of this silence is actually designed to protect the people you love. Psychology calls this the window of tolerance. It's that emotional sweet spot where genuine, productive communication is actually possible. When you're flooded and pushed outside that window, no real conversation can happen. You intuitively know that if you speak through raw, unfiltered pain, it won't be a discussion. It will be a destruction. So you wait. Section 5. Emotional integrity. The power of a considered conclusion. Which leads us to a really painful irony. When a partner follows you from room to room, demanding that you talk right then and there, it backfires completely. It just confirms your deep-seated belief that your emotions are only acceptable on someone else's timeline. So how much pressure do inward processors actually need to feel safe? Zero. Literally zero. Research shows that when all the pressure to perform is removed, quiet processors open up incredibly effectively. You aren't asking anyone to read your mind, you're just asking for patience without the pressure. We live in an incredibly loud world that constantly rewards fast reactions, even if people only mean half of what they say in the heat of the moment. But the quiet processor? You say less, sure, but you mean absolutely all of it. You turn the words over 100 times in your head, checking them for fairness and accuracy before they ever leave your mouth.
And because of that, when you finally speak, it is never just a knee-jerk reaction. It is a carefully checked, completely honest conclusion. You don't just throw out accusations to watch them land and see what happens. That is not emotional unavailability. Taking the time to find the real truth before you speak, that is the ultimate sign of emotional integrity.
So let's wrap this up. The truth about your silence is actually quite beautiful. It is your nervous system protecting you. It is a deeply ingrained survival skill. It is thorough, hyperactive emotional processing. And most importantly, it is a genuine attempt to protect the people you love. You are not cold, you're not difficult, and you are certainly not broken. You are simply someone who feels deeply and takes the care to understand it before speaking.
So, did this explainer finally give you the words you've been missing? Finding the right framework is always the very first step toward true understanding. If you want to start communicating without all that pressure we talked about, you've got to check out the guided journaling tools and the premium communication templates I've linked in the description below. They are absolute game changers for quiet processors. And hey, if this helped you finally feel seen today, hit that subscribe button to keep decoding your mind. I'll see you in the next one.